So we have reached a period in our lives, in this generation, where things are going to shit. Pardon my French. Because we are all on a lockdown, in quarantine, a lot of schools are requiring that you submit self-tape auditions instead. And I thought I would share some tips and tricks for all of you aspiring actors out there. Personally, for me, I find it a lot more comfortable to speak to my camera in the private comfort of my own bedroom versus speaking to a camera and also having to speak to 4 or 5 other people who are watching me like a hawk and judging me and quite possibly changing my future forever. So no pressure. I mean, for a self-tape, hopefully you feel at home, you're in your element, you've prepared, you've practiced, and now you're just ready to share your talents. You do not need professional equipment. You don't even need good equipment. All you really need is a phone that can record. So whether that be your iPhone or your shitty Android phone like I have, it can really be anything. If photo booth is all you have, then photo booth is all you have, and that works just as well. Just be sure you're not filming in front of your closet or a window, because then you're gonna look like that. Hi, my name is Sabrina Wu, and this is my self-tape. Oh, these are also photos of my broken ankle, as well as some hats that I barely wear. This is something I painted in the 8th grade. And these are my plants. And as you can see, I'm learning to play piano. And these are all the things that you don't need to know about me. The hardest thing about acting is keeping everything simple. So the same with the self-tape, keep everything simple. Keep it neutral. Grays, pale blues, even black will work. Make sure whatever backdrop you're standing in front of, you stand out, because people are there to see you. Who is... Don't let people interrupt you. Find a place where you can be alone. You don't want your dad to bust into the room while you're in the middle of your monologue and you're like just about to finish and you're all hyped up, and then they leave their country, China, they come here. No! Dad! So turn all distractions off, and if you're living in a busy city like New York and you can't seem to find some peace and quiet, let me recreate the sound of the train that would pass by every 15 minutes that I was living in my apartment in Brooklyn, New York. Okay, ready? So when I was recording my self-tapes, I really had to get my timing on point. Every time a train passed by, which was about every 15 minutes or so, I pressed record immediately and then started reciting my monologue. As you can see in the background, I have one of my bed sheets thumbtacked to the ceiling to create a faux backdrop. In order to improve the audio quality of my performance as well, you know, since we had all those loud ass fucking trains go by, I also stuffed towels and sheets underneath my door and windows. Come on, train. I just need 3 minutes. Thank you. This is what I see when I am filming my self-tape. I have my tripod. This is where my camera would be, and this is my ring light, which is not on right now, but... And God said, let there be light! Especially for a self-tape audition video, it's really important to have good lighting because you do want all eyes on you. You want to be the center of attention. Look at all these actions that you can't even see. Good lighting is really key for your self-tape because you want the panelists to see the emotions that you are emoting from your face. They want to be able to pay attention to the words that are coming out of your mouth, and, you know, they want to see you. So let them see you. This is my lighting friend. She was $30 on Amazon, and she also comes with a nifty phone attachment thing that you can put your phone on. Always film horizontally. And this is your whole setup. You always want to make sure that whatever lighting system you're using is about eye level to where you're going to be standing or sitting. If it were nighttime and you were using a lighting system, and say you put this light underneath your chin like this, you're gonna look weird. So keep this up. Ooh. Here I show you how good lighting makes me feel. Happy, then sad. Happy? You get the point. It's important to check the instructions to make sure that you're giving them what they want and that you're not slating if you don't need to. If they're telling you to upload the self-tape on Vimeo or YouTube, always send it as a private link just so other people can't access it and it stays between you and the auditioner. Is that a word? My name is Sabrina Wu, and I'm happy to present with my self-tape for audition purposes. Take a breath before you enter your scene. And this is what's so great about self-tapes, is that you have all the time in the world to take breaks as necessary. If you need some water, get a drink of water. No one's there to stop you. If you need to go for a run or do a little bit of yoga, you know, downward dog to get into character, go ahead and do that. If you've already pressed record but you need to take 2 or 3 breaths or, you know, a full minute meditation to get into character, there's literally no one there to stop you, and you can always just edit that in post. So take your time, take a breath, and enter with confidence. Cut! I was not feeling that. I was not in the moment. I'm gonna cut and redo that. Let's go. I personally enjoy the freedom of manipulating the area of space that people get to view me from. So if I'm doing a monologue that is a lot of emotion and, you know, I'm using a lot of my face, I'll go in closer. But if I am doing a scene where I use a lot of hand gestures and, you know, I'm walking around or pacing a bit more, I like to use a medium frame or a wider frame, just so that range is visible to the other person on the other side of the screen. You want to be dynamic in your performance, not only in, you know, your facial expressions and your voice, but also in your physical gestures. So this is the perfect time to play with and adjust the framing of your piece as needed. However, I do suggest keeping the camera in one stable position. You don't want to do any fancy panning or, you know, zooming in and out of your face. That just becomes really distracting, and you're also not here to audition for your film skills. You're in front of a camera, so there is a lot more limitations. Why did I say it like that? There are a few more limitations in terms of how far you can stretch your arms and how far you should stretch your arms. Try to keep it contained and front facing to where you're looking at. And that takes me to the next point, which is your eye lines. When you're entering a scene or entering your character, you don't want to make direct eye contact by looking down the whole of the camera. You want to be sure that your eye line when you're in character or performing your monologue is a little further off to either the right or the left of where your camera is. In terms of apparel and accessories, you want to stay neutral, not too funky or spunky. This is not to say be boring and, you know, just wear like a black t-shirt if that's not usually how you dress. And it's also important to not wear the same color as your backdrop. Am I human or am I wall? We don't know. I have overalls on. I've got this nice pale blue shirt that I've buttoned up all the way. I left my septum piercing on because why not? It's a part of me. I think it shows a bit of my personality, and it's also a pain in the ass to remove. Earrings are very minimal because you don't want to be flashing around gold hoops. That can be really distracting. Personally for me, if I'm in front of a camera, I like to sculpt the shit out of my cheekbones. And that's because I don't want my face to look really flat on camera. And so I do go a bit heavy and overboard with the contour, especially if I do have a light system directly in front of my face and there's also a white wall behind me. And if you decide to fuck my advice right off, go ahead and do it. You want to wear a winged eyeliner and that neon green eyeshadow? No one's stopping you. Don't listen to me. Actually, don't listen to anything I've said in this video. Whatever works for you, works for you. If you're unable or you don't know how to edit or cut your videos, you can film your self-tape or your monologues as separate videos and send those in. So if they're asking for a classical and contemporary monologue, you can send them in as 2 separate files. Just be sure to watch your video back before you send it off. You don't just want to film it and then think, oh yeah, this is good, and then send it and then realize later that there was an audio problem. So make sure that you do review your footage, and not so you could judge your acting, but to look out for technical issues. Don't waste your time trying to perfect something, because this is a craft that is very subjective and internal. Every choice that you make is important. So just go with the flow, have fun, don't put so much pressure on yourself, because ultimately that will just lead to a bad performance. I'm tempted to do another take. Why not? Let's do one more take, because I'm already in this mood and one more take doesn't hurt. But don't let yourself convince yourself. Don't let yourself convince yourself that doing more takes means that you're doing better takes, because that's not always the case. Stick with your gut, and if you think you've got it, you've got it. And if it helps to have someone standing there for you to speak to, do that. So you're also not wasting their time with multiple takes. Be confident in the work that you put out, because we're not mind readers. The panelists or the casting directors, they don't even know what they're looking for. So don't try to read minds and, you know, think, oh, if I did it like this, they'll probably like it more. Do whatever you like. Do whatever you feel is the right choice. I'm wishing you all the very best of luck. Break a leg out there with your self-tape audition videos, but don't actually break a leg, because that shit hurts. But even if you do have a broken leg, hey, this is the perfect opportunity to send in a self-tape. So try to occupy your time creatively. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy and happy and warm at home. Take walks if you can, especially if you're doing multiple takes of your self-tape. Be confident in what you're putting out, because what you're putting out is you, and you are what the people want to see. So fly off, my little birdies. And thank you for watching. And oh no, I need to edit my self-tape videos. Okay, well, goodbye.